So if you're trying to have a cool, easy career in the Air Force, okay, the best rank to be at and stay at, E4. E4. But you choose the goddamn deal, man. One on the pad. Baby! And we are back with another video. And check this out. I remember when I posted me hanging up these frames, my uniform here, right? And I had posted it on all my socials, including Facebook. And my caption was finally framing my uniforms and hanging them up after 8 years. Right? But when I say after 8 years, I'm saying I've been out the military 8 years. Okay? I'm not saying that I did 8 years in military. So I get how that can be confusing. I wasn't 100% clear. Right? But one thing you're going to learn about future airmen is the Airman NCO page. It's on Facebook. Okay? You gonna see, you gonna learn about the corniest people the Air Force have to offer or had to offer. Because that's all that's in that group is people that are has-beens that still miss the military and currently still in. You know, so they like to make jokes out of the situation. So one dude was like, after 8 years and you was only a senior airman? And I said, no. It took me 8 years to finally frame him. But even if that was the case, the best rank to be is E4. E4 Mafia. Senior airman. You ain't got no responsibilities. You know how to do your job, the E5 job, and the E6 jobs, and you ain't got no troops. That's the most important part of that situation. No troops. You ain't got to worry about keeping up with your troop, making sure he's staying out of trouble. While trying to keep yourself out of trouble because you still young too. You trying to turn up and all that, but you got this young wild troop, and he or she is they just wild. So, me personally, bro, I did not care to make E5. Never wanted to make E5. And to prove it to you, I failed the test on purpose. Didn't have no desire to put on E5 because at Dover Air Force Base, Delaware, as soon as you got a line number for staff sergeant, they giving you a troop. They giving you a troop. I'm not into babysitting. Just keep it a buck. That's all you're doing is babysitting. And thankfully, I know all my supervisors can attest to this. I was a good troop. I was a little rebel. I did what I wanted to do, but I was a good troop. Never had to have my supervisor put on his dress blues and meet them at the commander's office. Yeah. Yeah, because when you get in trouble, you and your supervisor got to go see the commander in your dress blues. In your dress blues. So I was never that troop. Never got in trouble. On paper. But yeah. If you, listen. If you're a real one like me, you trying to get in and get out, they give you E1, E2, E3, E4. If you get BTZ blow zone, you may test for E5 3 times instead of 2 times, but you get E1, E2, E3, E4, okay? And you can chill at E4 until you get out. Now, I do think if you fail that test a multitude of times, they're going to kick you out because they're going to think you're incompetent. They're going to think you slow, whatever the case may be. But yeah, ain't nobody trying to be no E5. And the pay difference is not really all that big of a gap between E4 and E5. At least it wasn't back then. And mind you, I'm a Raven. I make E5, E6, E7, E8 money already. So there's no need for me to have the extra stripe. I don't want it. Nor do I need it. Because I can go make that real quick on a three-day trip to from that's probably the opposite. But yeah, I can go make that real quick. And I'm less stressed out because I ain't gotta write no EPRs. I ain't gotta beg my troop to volunteer or go to school or just keep up with another human being, because that's not what I want to do. Here comes some old head sergeant or veteran. You must not want to be on. No, I didn't. No, that's not what I came. That's not what I joined for. I didn't join to babysit another man or woman. No, bro. I'm here for me. I'm here for me. Now listen, I'm not telling y'all. Okay, I'm counting you. But if you want more for yourself, go for E5. Climb the ranks. Climb the ranks. But if you are a dude like me that just trying to chill, but know how to do your job in other jobs and don't want that responsibility because you are at E4, bro, stay at E4, bro. Senior airman. Senior airman. And if we being honest, I'ma just speak for the whole military. E4s run the military, bruh. E4s from the military. At least they run the Air Force. And if they run the Air Force, then they because the Air Force is way up here and everybody is down here. But that's neither here nor there. But yo, E4 is the best rank to be at. Now, if you trying to make this a career, yeah, you got to climb the ranks. See, like I said earlier, they will kick you out if you can't pass that test. Okay. But yeah, you can't can't nobody make me feel bad for being a E4 by the time I separated. Never wanted to be a staff sergeant. Nobody cared that you was a staff sergeant. When you go interview for a job after the military, they're not gonna ask you what rank was you. They don't care. They don't even know what a staff sergeant is. They don't care. They just want to know, can you lead? Can you do the job? And lead the job and come back and do it again tomorrow. Can you lead if we ask you to lead? And you can. I led as an E4 and so can you. Rank doesn't necessarily mean leadership. Ooh, that was a bar. That was a bar, pal. Because you could be an E4 and be a better leader than an E6. What we talking about? What we talking about? So yeah, dude tried to be funny. But the whole time, E4 is the best rank to be. In my opinion, you don't get no respect at E5, bro. That's just my opinion, bro. You ain't nothing but a glorified babysitter. And that's no knock to the E5s. I promise you. That's just how I view it. That's just how I felt when people tried to play me about not being an E5. You ain't nothing but a babysitter. Now, E6s, them tech sergeants, that's where the respect come in at. Yeah. Yeah, them E6s. That's where the respect come in at. But E5s, man, you still a senior, man, bro. Nobody care. Nobody care. And it's some good staff sergeants. That's not what I don't want to make it seem like there's no good staff sergeant, because there is. There is. The 2 that I had, well, 3 that I had, 4, whatever. Good staff sergeants, bruh. But it's not a rank to be like, oh yeah, I'm the dude with the big balls in this mud. Nah, bro. You don't call no shots. None. You E4 2.0. So shit. E4 Mafia. And for all my E4s out there, Put E4 Mafia in the chat. In the comments, bruh. Alright? I'm gonna take this last sip of y'all. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new. And I'm out, dog.